It's all collapsing everywhere. The entire liberal industrial complex is imploding right before our very eyes. Even Democrats are turning against sanctuary policies. Tim Walz, the feckless and failed governor of Minnesota, he's under not one but 2 federal investigations. Their latest sanctimonious martyr has just been exposed on another video as an unhinged, violent lunatic. Whistleblowers are talking, cash is moving overseas, and border czar Tom Homan, he's in town to drop the hammer like never before. It's happening. We're at a critical mass, and we're all witnessing the colossal collapse of nothing less than the Democrat Party itself. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot professor, here to help you make sense of the madness with breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. He's done. He's finished. We broke him. His career is officially over. Governor Tampon Tim made the announcement last night.
We're already doing it.
Do you regret jumping out before such a consequential moment?
No, and part of it was true. Look, I recognize that I'm a lightning rod, and this is a tough space for I'm in because I know they hate me personally, and they take it out on my constituents because old white guys who are former governors tend to land on their feet okay type of thing. But in all fairness on the timing, I removed myself, and then 2 days later, Renee Good is murdered. But I think one of the things is I have no political consideration, will never run for an elected office again.
Never again.
Never again.
So old Tampon Tim is done. We're not going to have him kick around anymore, unfortunately. He's so much fun. And we need to step back and realize just what a colossal fall this was. What we just saw play out with Tampon Tim right before our very eyes. We've got to remember, I mean, it was literally just 6 weeks ago. Tim was the man. I mean, the New Yorker was writing all these glamorous puff pieces on how he was the front runner for the 2028 nomination. This guy had national name recognition. He was actively standing up to Trump, right? He was defending his state against the federal Gestapo, this juggernaut of ICE agents trying to arrest and deport tens of thousands of poor, innocent, illegal migrants in his state. I mean, he was it. He was on top of the Democrat political cesspool. And then it all just came crashing down. And the speed of the fall was breathtaking. First, the tens of billions of dollars of welfare fraud that he originally tried to hide. Do you remember that? He tried to pretend it wasn't happening, that this was just white supremacy. That's what this was, white supremacy. It was a right-wing conspiracy. And then every single federal agency, from the Department of Agriculture to the Department of Education, to the HHS, to the FBI, to Homeland Security, to the Treasury Department, the SEC, they all collectively uncovered more and more and more fraud than anyone could have ever imagined in their wildest nightmares. I mean, Trump has said he's got reports that the fraud may be as high as $80 billion when all is said and done. $80 billion. And then, of course, you got Walz doing everything he could to distract the legacy media from this little embarrassment. So he went from lying to looting. He encouraged everyone in Minneapolis to rise up against these federal agents and actively thwart their law enforcement duties, which I don't see as anything other than treason and insurrection. And of course, that treason and insurrection got 2 radical activists killed in the process. But then the Trump administration received information on infiltrated, encrypted signal chats that were orchestrating these riots. And what they found was that the signal chat network didn't just involve clueless left-wing lunatics who had nothing else to do but harass ICE agents. No, the network included Minnesota government officials and even members of Tim Walz's own administration. For example, Amanda Kohler, a campaign strategist for Tim Walz. She's been featured prominently within the network as an active participant. Evidence suggests Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan may have been involved at the highest levels. And then here's the kicker to make it even worse. Investigators have found donor lists showing foreign money funding these organizations. That's right. Foreign involvement in a coordinated effort to obstruct federal law enforcement. How do you spell treason? And so Trump dropped the hammer. Not only did the FBI announce a whole new round of investigations into the Signal Chat scandal, leading all the way to the top of the Minnesota government, but then border czar Tom Homan was sent to Minneapolis just days ago to take over Operation Metro Surge, which has absolutely flooded the zone throughout the Twin Cities with mass arrests and deportations now numbering over 10,000, as well as to oversee the fraud investigation, now investigations into the billion-dollar fraud ring among Somalis and the role the Walz government played in facilitating that fraud. Tom Homan gave a press conference at 7 a.m. this morning, and what he said already has the entire Minnesota Democrat establishment in a panic.
I've been on the ground less than 3 full days. I got in here Monday. President of the United States called me Monday morning and asked me to deploy here. Got here Monday evening, and I'm staying till the problem's gone. But we've made a lot of progress in the last 3 days.
So he made it absolutely clear to all the feckless Minnesota Democrats that he's there for good. He's not leaving Minneapolis until they have completely cleaned out the illegal migrant population from that city, which, remember, has already cost Minnesota 1 congressional seat, right? We've done a video on that. Minnesota held on to its 8th congressional district in 2020, according to the 2020 census, by 89 people. 89. Do the math. We've already had 10,000 illegal migrants who were included in that census, by the way. Thank you, Democrats. We already had 10,000 illegal migrants deported from Minnesota. I mean, these arrests and deportations alone have already cost Minnesota that congressional seat in the as of the 2030 census. So Minnesota is learning the hard way the radical political consequences of these mass deportations. And Tom Homan made it clear this is inevitable. There's nothing you can do to stop this. I'm here until all illegal migrants are purged out of Minneapolis. But it's what Tom Homan said next that has Democrats all across the country in an absolute panic. But first, gang, it's not just Minneapolis officials that are playing political games with your quality of life. Over in Europe, they've actually banned a supplement called NMN, not because it's dangerous, but because it works too darn well. Big Pharma is developing a $3,000 version of this, so they're trying to ban the cheaper version. A Harvard clinical trial found that 1,000 milligrams of NMN daily safely increase NAD levels up to 2x. Researchers have observed reductions in fat mass, cholesterol, and blood pressure, confirming NMN's potential to reverse key markers of metabolic aging. Here's Professor David Sinclair from the Center for the Biology of Aging at Harvard Medical School talking about it.
Of the people that I know that look freakishly and unusually young for their age, that I have met in, say, the last 36 months, I cannot get over how many of them have told me that I'm on NAD and I'm on metformin. And I'm talking about everywhere from a gym to a golf course to a business meeting. And I'm talking about visually, shockingly looking young people, mainly people in their 50s that look like they could be in their 30s or early 40s to me. So when you say NAD, do you believe in the IV therapy? Do you believe in the stuff you can inject with subcutaneously? Or are you speaking specifically about this precursor that you were referencing?
Well, what I believe doesn't so much matter, but the scientific evidence points to taking a supplement every day, a gram of NMN, which is this precursor, stands for nicotinamide mononucleotide for the aficionados. Just swallowing one of those, or 1,000 milligrams, is enough to double your NAD.
In fact, NMN is so powerful, the FDA has been trying to turn it into a drug. So this is why you need to stock up on this now, because when Big Pharma finally figures out how to patent this, game over. Black Forest just launched their amazing new year, New Me, biggest deal of the year. And it's insane. 40% off their best-selling NMN product. I take it every day. I love it. It's available, though, for only 48 hours, so don't wait. Click on that link below to get this super discount that ends in 48 hours. And when it's over, it's gone for good. Click on that link below right now.
And he has clarified for me that county jails may notify ICE of the release dates of criminal public safety risks so ICE can take custody of them upon the release from the jail. And let me tell you why that's important. I know people are a lot concerned about the manpower has been set in law enforcement manpower. Look, I've said this many times before. I've said it for the last several years. give us access to the illegal alien public safety threat and the safety and security of a jail. It's common sense. It's safer for the community, it's safer for the agent, and it's safer for the alien. Because anything can happen on a street arrest. It just makes common sense. And for the people that argue, well, we're a welcoming community because we want victims and witnesses of crime that are here illegally to feel safe to come to police without fear they're working with ICE, we're not going to talk to the victim and witness of crime. There's no problem there. They should feel safe to come to police and ask for help. All we want is to talk to the person that local and state law enforcement authorities locked in a jail cell.
That's it. That's the end of sanctuary cities. That concession right there. It is the policy of every sanctuary city to refuse to honor detainers. So when local law enforcement arrests an illegal migrant and federal agents find out about it and instruct that local law enforcement to keep him in custody until the feds get there so they can deport him, they are required by sanctuary policies to release that illegal from custody so as to evade federal law enforcement. It's a loophole in the law that allows them to do it. It's insane. So what you just heard there is that Minnesota Democrats folded. They bent the knee. They're giving up on that sanctuary city policy, and they will be honoring detainers from now on, which means that if they bent the knee in Minneapolis, the Trump administration knows they can get other knees in other sanctuary cities and states to bend as well. And again, we're already seeing it. I mean, these are scenes from the Graduate Hotel in Minneapolis last night, where local law enforcement engaged in mass arrests, herding protesters into a bus with bars on the windows. And this was just one scene among many across the city last night, where local law enforcement has now begun to, they've been unleashed to crack down on these protesters. All as ICE and Border Patrol continue to arrest and deport illegal aliens. We're also now learning that Alex Preddy, the new sacred martyr of the left, was in fact a rabid, radical, violent, anti-ICE lunatic who's actually had a history of violently confronting ICE officers.
Look at you! Pepper spray, bitch! Fucking something, motherfucker! Fucking fuck you guys! Fucking trash! Fucking trash!
Yep, that was him. That was their virtuous, sanctimonious, irreproachable patron saint nurse, Alex Preddy, spitting on ICE agents' cars, kicking and hysterically screaming at the agents. So just like all their other patron saints of the past, again, unfortunately, he's been exposed as a radical and militant leftist. So the Alex Preddy, mirage has just completely collapsed. We got two major FBI investigations into Tim Walz, his lieutenant governor and other very high-ranking Minnesota Democrats. We got Tom Homan arriving in Minneapolis this week with a clear mission to not leave until the job of eradicating the swamp of illegal migrants from the state is complete. We've got their entire funding and communication network exposed, including money coming from overseas. We've got Walz officially broken. He's quit politics. He's done. Trump broke him. The fraud scandal broke him. And the realization that Minnesotans are finally seeing through the sanctuary city nonsense broke him. And Minnesota Democrats have basically abandoned their sanctuary state and city policies. The left's narrative is crumbling. It's imploding on literally every front. Their peaceful protester was caught on video assaulting federal agents. Their sanctuary city policies are being exposed as sanctuaries for criminals and evacuated by Democrats themselves. Their welfare system has been bleeding billions in fraudulent payments. And their governor just admitted political defeat so complete he's never running for any public office ever again. The question now is, how many other blue states have have been running similar schemes? How many other sanctuary cities have been protecting criminals while pretending to protect communities? And how many other left-wing organizations are about to face consequences for funding what increasingly looks like coordinated attacks on federal law enforcement? The left wanted to make Minnesota ground zero for resistance to the Trump Gestapo. Instead, they've made it ground zero for their own exposure. And that is a beautiful thing to watch. Before you go, gang, if you want to be part of a community where faith, family, and freedom come alive, check out the Courageous Patriot Club. I love for you to see what this community is all about. You can watch a free preview of Turley Walks, one of my exclusive weekly series. Head on over to turley.pub/turleywalks.